Welcome to the Turn One Studio podcast. I'm Eliud Custodio with Turn One Studio, and here we sit with local business professionals. Today's guest, Ian Sterling from Sterling Risk Insurance. Ian, welcome.
Great, thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. So, as always, first things first. What is Sterling Risk Insurance?
So we are a full-service insurance brokerage. We provide needs to business owners with respect to their insurance, and that ranges a lot of different topics. That ranges a lot of different areas. So at the bare minimum, we procure insurance policies at the request of both our business clients, our personal lines clients, and any intermediary in between. On the far end of the spectrum, we provide risk management and brokerage services.
Okay, that's a lot. Where are you guys based out of?
We're based out of Woodbury, New York.
Woodbury. Do you service just New York?
No, so we are a national brokerage. We are licensed in all 50 states.
Okay.
I would say that we have clients in all 50 states. I personally have clients in Florida, Chicago, Texas, Connecticut, New Jersey, as well as New York and Long Island.
Very nice. So from a business owner perspective, what should I be looking for in my business to make me think I need to call Ian?
Well, it really depends on what we like to call pain points.
Okay.
So people look at insurance in very different ways. There are the people who say, all I need is what I'm required to have. There are people who have unfortunately experienced pain or claims where they say, I need to have more than I'm required. And then there's all sorts of people in between. In general, if you don't know off the top of your head what you're covered for, or you're unsure whether your policy covers you for everything that you need, that's when I'd love to talk to you.
Okay, isn't that most people? I feel like insurance is often one of those things where you don't pay attention to it until you need it, or your premium goes up and then it gets on your radar. But isn't it usually a incorrectly set it and forget it thing?
So I'll say something one of my clients said to me when I met them. I met them a few months ago. I would say 6 months ago. They came to me and they said that their client speaks to them, their broker speaks to them twice a year. Once when the renewal is presented, and then once when it's paid for. And that is the ideal scenario for most people. It's not something that people like to talk about. It's not something that people like to pay for in general. And so most people don't like to deal with their broker during that time. That's not how we work, and that's not how I like to work. A lot of people view it as a commodity, and again, there's no real right way or wrong way. We like to view it as a way of risk management and change the perception of it, where it's not just how do I pay for this, it's how do I prevent my level of risk from happening, which then drives your insurance costs down.
That's interesting. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Okay.
Well, let me.
Yes, please.
So again, most people view insurance as I go to 15 different insurance carriers. I choose the combination of the best price and the best coverage. Though I would argue that most people just look at one of those two factors.
Okay.
Right? And you can't ignore the economy. You can't ignore that there's a finite amount of money that you can spend on this. What people don't realize, or they do and they don't want to think about it, is just because you take the same submission, which is what we call your presentation that we bring to the carriers, to 5 different carriers, that doesn't mean that submission gets you the best price. So for a business owner that has their own risk management professional on site, or a business owner that takes great care with preventing risk, right? If your insurance professional doesn't understand what you do to do that, they're not able to sell it to an insurance carrier.
They're your advocate.
We are your advocate. We like to consider ourselves partners. But again, if you are a small business that has a staff of 5 people, you didn't start your small business to get into understanding insurance.
Right.
You started your small business to do what you do best. And when the insurance comes around, you don't really want to have to be involved or thinking about it, which is completely understandable. It's an insurance professional's job to bridge that gap and say to you, hey, here are 15 different things that you can do to make your space safer from a property, liability, or any other line of business. But again, I like talking about this stuff. I tend to over analyze the situations.
What's one of the more common mistakes you see a business owner make, short of just not caring enough about their insurance?
That is a tough question because it depends on the class, it depends on the type of risk, it depends on a lot of things, right? So if we were to boil it down and say that the most common thing or the most common mistake that people make is not documenting what they're actually doing. So
You mean like a standard operating procedure?
well, let's put it in terms of a safety manual.
Okay.
Okay, so let's limit it and say let's talk about liability. Okay, liability. The biggest people think about when they think about liability is what we call slip and fall claims. So if somebody comes in on a rainy day, slips on your property, they're going to try to find some sort of way to make themselves whole. God forbid they don't get hurt. God forbid they don't damage something. It's only about liability. So in that case, most business owners have a very complex mental calculus for how they protect their businesses. They have signs up. If a slip happens, they call someone to put a cone up, and they do all of these things because they know that's what they have to do. But these safety procedures are not documented anywhere, and they're not readily available for every employee. Taking that and turning that into a paper that everyone knows where it is, and being sure that your insurance professional knows that you have it and can provide that to a carrier as proof can dramatically increase or increase your level of preparedness and then decrease your premium.
So you really have more control over premium than you might think by doing something like that.
So
I didn't know that till now. And I now realize, I thought I was just, what you give me is kind of what I have to take, but I do have a little more control over that.
So again, yes, with the caveat.
To a certain extent.
It really depends. Like if you are, insurance carriers created a BOP insurance policy, which I would say is the majority of what business owners buy, unless you get to a certain size. Okay, and when you have a BOP, there's very little flexibility. You're paying choice premium, and you're getting good coverages, but you're not getting great coverages. When you have a BOP, your level of control is not as large as if you're paying more money and you get what we call monoline.
And what does BOP stand for?
Business owner's policy.
Okay.
All right, so most people view a BOP much like they view their homeowner's policy, right? So most people's entryway into insurance is via their own personal lines, their auto policy that they're required to have and pay every 6 months, most people, and their homeowner's policy, which again, they're required to have. If you have a mortgage, which most people do, you don't have much choice with that matter. And with us on Long Island, we're not really in the best area to insure because we're close to the water, right? So you, as a business owner, think about how you manage your homeowner's insurance the way that you manage your business insurance. And the truth is that they are very similar, right? But if you have a risk management partner, they can break that down for you and give you a better idea as to what you're paying for, right? So most people, when they call me, if I don't call them, the first thing they say is, okay, great. How can you save me money? And what I like to say is I will do my best, but first I need to understand what you're paying for. You are paying for certain types of insurance. You might have certain types of exclusions. You might have exclusions you're not aware of. You might have endorsements you don't need. These are all things that we try to do. You may be paying the fairest price for your class of business, but you may not have that confidence because you are given one quote. You're not sure how many different times your insurance agent tried to get you that quote. We try to make it a transparent process so that when I present a quote to somebody, Here are all the markets I've went to. Here are all the reasons why they are not the right fit. Here are all the reasons why they might not have wanted to quote you.
Right.
And then that's not even talking about the painful aspect of it, where claims are paid or when you have to file a claim. I mean, most people, again, in general, feel that insurance is not there to actually pay the claims.
They have a very cynical view on it.
Correct. Cynical is not how I would describe it. Okay. Again, everyone has their own experience. So if you have filed claims with a carrier and they have declined you every single time, is that cynical or is that just your experience?
Okay.
It's again, I'm not it's understanding everyone in the process, and I'm in a unique position where I try to do that as an insurance agent and an independent agent at that. My job is to look out for you, the client. Whereas if I was a direct employee of an insurance carrier, my job is to present to you the best option my carrier can give you. I have access to over 150, 200 carriers across the country. So if the renewal quote is not the best for you, it's my job to educate you why and also show you different options.
Is it true that certain carriers have pulled out of New York State in the past few years? Is that a thing?
So yes, it isn't just New York State. It's and again, very big picture. The insurance marketplace has been a very difficult marketplace for the past 8 to 10 years. And it's been difficult in places like Florida. It's been difficult in places like California. It's been difficult in places like New York. It's been difficult and everywhere that is in a storm area, anywhere that's close to the water. Because the truth of the matter is that if you look at the last 10 years, there has been a higher than expected amount of storms or natural disasters, and those claims don't just impact your home, but they impact the entire neighborhood's home or the entire state's home. So yes, it is true that carriers have pulled out of New York, but it's not just specific to New York.
Okay. So you, and I apologize if you covered this at the beginning, but do you guys do homeowners and auto in addition to the business?
We do. Yes. So we have a personal lines team. One of the things that we do very well is we have teams. We're a teams approach, right? Mm-hmm. There's the outward facing people. That's what I do. I bring clients. I meet clients. I set up the appointments. And then each division, depending on the size of it, has their own team. We have a construction unit that focuses only on builder's risk, owner's interest, and construction risks. We have a real estate division that focuses entirely on real estate. We have a professional lines division that focuses entirely on professional lines. We have a not-for-profit division, focuses entirely on D&O, not-for-profit, all lines for that. We also have a personal lines division, which focuses entirely on homeowners and auto and personal umbrella. And everyone is different because every class is different. But the people that we have are the experts in those fields.
Now, you guys are a multi-generational family-owned business, right?
Yes, that is correct.
There's no coincidence in the last name.
No, yes.
So how did this all start?
So in 1932, we started our insurance brokerage. It was my great-grandfather.
1932.
Correct. And then my great-grandfather brought his two sons, my grandfather and my great-uncle. And then my father came in and worked for my grandfather. And then my father, in the early to late 90s, bought the company, and he has taken it to where it is today. And at the moment, I work in the company, my brother works in the company, my sister. We are a generational business, and we've been on Long Island for the entirety of our lifespan, though we have expanded to Florida, Connecticut, New Jersey, California, with satellite offices or main offices in all those different states.
That's impressive. So I imagine if I ask you what's the ideal business to reach out to you, it's going to be anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
If I'm not personally able to help that business, I have somebody that I work with that can.
Okay.
My biggest industry class right now is construction.
Okay.
With real estate on the side. I also have some not-for-profits that I work on. My preference is, to be honest, to work on the more complicated risks.
What's an example?
So an example would be a manufacturer that distributes their own product across the country.
Okay.
Right? They may be or the manufacturer that imports from outside of the country and handles internal distribution. That would be complicated, right? A real estate schedule or a property development that has 50 locations, but each one is individually insured, right? That would be a challenge to put them all together potentially for an overall package and a cost savings.
Right. And that's what you love.
That is my yes. What I like to do is look at an individual's risk, see what's there, and be able to help someone understand where they're missing anything or if they're missing anything. And from a selfish standpoint, if I look at something and I think it's the best that they have, that's also a bit of a joy for me too, because then it means that there's nothing I can do to help somebody, but at least I've given that person the confidence that they have something they should be proud of.
Love it. Obviously, it's in the blood, but have you always been in insurance?
No, I started working in insurance since 2007.
Okay.
And prior to that, I was in more of an entertainment field. But for most of my professional career, from 2007 to today, I have done insurance.
Very cool. All right. Most important question, perhaps. What do you like to do for fun?
So there's fun and there's fun. My fun involves spending time with my kids and my wife, right? So that's what I would say is 90% of my time, anything that they allow me to do with them.
Okay.
Which is becoming less and less as they get older. But I am a hobbyist photographer, and that's what I do when I'm allowed to take some time.
Love that.
And lately I've been trying to convince my children to come with me, which has had various degrees of success.
They're not showing interest?
They would rather not spend a couple hours outside taking photos at boring things.
Oh, fair enough.
than do literally anything else.
Okay.
But yes, for fun, it is photography, and then making sure that I am devoting as much time as I can to getting my kids out to what they're doing.
Fantastic. So how can viewers get a hold of you?
Do I give my email or my phone number, or do it?
Yeah, I mean, if that's how you want them to reach out, sure.
So the best way to reach out would be via email. You can contact me on my LinkedIn page, which I check regularly, or you can email me at isterling@sterlingrisk.com, and that would be a great first step.
Fantastic. This is insanely insightful. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for
Ian.
having me. Appreciate it.